So you might remember I covered the Hunter x Hunter 2011 films, one of the only other things to come out of a Hunter x Hunter adaptation, or so I thought. Back in 1999, when the first adaptation ran out of material, then came back, then ran out, then came back, then ran out, then came back, and then ran out again, they had some projects to fill in those hiatuses, and thus, we finally arrive at the Japanese anime stage play. I've learned a lot about it in a very short amount of time, and it is very different from anything that a Western audience is used to. There are no sets, sometimes there aren't even props, there's barely any gobos or gels or even keeping your back from the audience. But what there is kind of makes up for it. What there is the entire original cast playing their respective characters. It might not sound like much, but it honestly makes everything so much more enthralling to watch. It's kind of like watching the anime come to life before your very eyes. The first play, Musical Hunter x Hunter in 2000, is an original story set after the York New City arc, but before the Greed Island arc. Yeah, it doesn't really work, and the original story is probably the worst aspect to it, but seeing Hisoka sing about getting hard, and seeing the ridiculous fighting with the same punch sound effect mashed on the soundboard again and again, you start to come over on it a little. The little things in these plays are what add up to the final experience. Seeing people in the audience start cheering and going mad for Hisoka, and then be completely silent for Gon, the main character, is just so funny to me. Leorio has the glasses pushed up so far that it kinda just looks like he's blind. In the first play, Hisoka's tattoos are kind of glaringly made out of sticky notes. Anyway, as I say, it's less about the visual element of the play and more about the fact that if you close your eyes and listen, it's essentially a new episode of Hunter x Hunter come to life. The story is about Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, and Killua finding a post on the Hunter website and going to this country called El Rais to help find 4 missing girls. Why they do this is kind of out of the blue, but the story has to start somehow, I suppose. So when they arrive, El Rais seems to be a massively prosperous country with beer, food, and festivities galore. But after overhearing some denizens complain, it's revealed to have a darker nature at work. The quadrio split up to maximize the chance of finding all of the 4 missing girls. Hisoka reveals himself. Kurapika gets into a fight with some thugs, finds a homeless man and listens to him sing for 3 soul-crushing minutes. Killua finds one of the girls called Django. She sings, Killua tells her to shut up, and she falls head over heels for him. And yes, it was apparently that easy to find one of the 4 missing girls, posted on the Hunter website. Killua stumbles into her in the first 20 minutes, and not long afterwards, Leorio finds another called Yukaita. He says he'd prefer someone prettier, walks off stage, then Hisoka comes in and says the same thing and kills the joke. From the missing girls, they obtain information about a woman controlling El Rais, a woman called Madame Isabel, who's also responsible for the kidnappings, but now they're also wanting to intercept and stop the hunters from interfering, hence all of the thugs and the fights. I think what happened here is they made an original story to get out of having to show any real Nen. So they have a lot of enter stage right, exit stage left repetitivism going on. Nen is mentioned 1 hour and 8 minutes into the play, which kind of tells us the answer to that as well. The Hisoka dance scene, which is semi-glorious, is our explanation for the lack of Nen. Electric Carnival is the Nen power of Madame Isabel, and it's pretty much just the dark side of the Force from Star Wars. It's electricity, before Killua learned to do it himself, so it gets a pass. But the ending of the play is just a light show fight sequence where the heroes obviously win, and they go about their separate ways again. It isn't complex, but nor is it meant to be. It's a fun time listening to the original voice actors and actresses as much as it is hearing the audience and their reaction to everything and seeing these voices playing these characters. Overall, a simple but strangely entrancing play. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. The next play, Musical Hunter x Hunter The Nightmare of Zoldyck, released in 2002, is a straight-up adaptation of the Zoldyck family mansion arc. A short arc that's bereft of Nen altogether, which helps, seeing as Nen was yet to be explained at this point in the anime, and it helps the flow of the play a lot as well. This play is a surprisingly good time. They insert Hisoka into it too, just for the shits and gigs, and it adapts the arc really well. It starts without context, but still works. Gon sings about wanting to find and see Killua again, which is clever. To start with a context-filled song, it makes you realize this is a musical, not to take it too seriously, but it fills the background of what Hunter x Hunter is until this arc for everyone who doesn't know about it. It does come across a little bit like the Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob song, but it works. And if anything, the added cheesiness kind of enhances the point of the play. It's just a good time. In terms of the Zoldyck family arc, the play is different from the manga, but just enough so that it doesn't affect the overall story, whilst making it more entertaining overall. This time the story is at least more engaging, if just for familiarity's sake. Maybe it's because we know how everything goes down, from Gon, Leorio, Kurapika, learning to open the gates, to learning about the different twisted members of Killua's family, or the cool talk he has with his dad, or Goto and the coin trick game. This play is a lot more engaging all around, and on top of the engagement from adapting the actual manga, the play makes itself more entertaining by heightening these moments as musical numbers, gags, or by inserting more light-hearted moments in between these scenes altogether. And in Hunter x Hunter, where there is clearly some bad parenting going on, it makes you put that realistic issue aside to just have a laugh. And that's what this play is. A laugh. When the bus arrives, we have Hisoka to laugh at. When they open the gates, it's perfect room for physical mime comedy. When they present Canary, it's actually kind of problematic. But then we get to see Killua's family, including this guy who's probably a little younger than me, acting for Zeno, a 70-year-old. But hey, the guy can certainly move. One of the added scenes after Killua's mum initially freaks out and after the coin game presents itself. Instead of just going on their way after Silver's talk, Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika meet the family and they put on a big banquet dinner. They get drunk and just do gag after gag. The only threat is technically from Halloumi Zoldyck. I don't remember fully, but in this play, circa 2002, Illumi talks in a brainwashing manner and mentions his needles, with the intention being that he has one in Killua's brain. Now, genuine question to everyone watching, that wasn't mentioned in the manga, was it? Did Togashi actually watch this musical and make the manga follow it? It's so peculiarly exact to how things turn out in the Chimera Ant arc, it can't be a coincidence. And I literally just rewatched the whole series, as you can tell from the last video. But yeah, someone please help me here. Illumi's needle in Killua's brain is not a story beat from the manga at this point, right? When this play was made in 2002, the manga was barely getting started with the Greed Island arc. Togashi didn't reveal this element until chapter 219, released 2 years later, in June 2004. It's so weird, but everything points to Togashi getting this story beat from this musical. Anyway, this play is a good laugh. If you want to watch any of these plays, I'd say you can get by with just this one. This was fairly awesome, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10. The third and final play is, unfortunately, not a musical. Hunter x Hunter, A Longing for Palknoth, I think that means Pakunoda, was released in 2004 and adapts the end of the York New City arc. The only actresses to return are Gon and Killua's, which is unfortunate, but because of this, they ended up replacing Kurapika's actress with Biscuit Kruger's voice actress, so at least we got to see more people involved with the original anime getting on board with this. I have to say, right now, I couldn't find a complete version of the play to watch, even when looking for used DVDs from way back when they released this thing. The well was just completely dry, and so I had to resort to the existing YouTube videos, which are, unfortunately, untranslated. So whilst I obviously understand the story and a small amount of very, very rudimentary Japanese, you have to bear in mind that I didn't really get the chance to consume this thing to the level that it deserves. And believe it or not, it's such a shame, because this play was really good. I love the fact that it isn't a musical, almost like how the arc is tonally darker than anything that came before, and doesn't try to hide it. Here we have less joviality from a lack of songs and gags. They also don't shy away from Nen as much as other plays, and genuinely try to make it work, like Kurapika's chains being used as a prop. And yeah, there are props. The Phantom Troupe is the best part of this play, but yeah, aside from translations, that's really all I can say about it. So, now that we've explored every possible medium of Hunter x Hunter from the movies to the plays, Togashi simply has to come back. So keep holding out, hang in there, have a great day. A very big thank you to my patrons for supporting this video. It means the world to me. Have a great day guys, and see you next time.